When Oculus released the Rift in 2016, everybody thought that VR was just gonna explode in popularity, and the game studios invested tens of millions of dollars just developing these massive AAA titles. And that's why to this day, some of the best VR games are still from like 4 to 5 years ago. Now, one of those games was Asgards Wrath, a game about an Asgardian god who travels the universe and fights mortal beings against all sorts of crazy things. Without a doubt, it's an incredible game still to this day, but the VR industry just didn't grow as quickly as everyone thought, and making games that large just weren't and still aren't financially viable. However, less than 5 months after launching the original Asgards Wrath, Meta acquired the studio behind it and put them to work on a sequel. You see, the great thing about that is Meta doesn't care about remaking the money that they spent on the studio or developing the game. They wanted it for one purpose and one purpose only, and that is to deliver the most incredible VR experience ever, and man did they hit it out of the park. Asgard's Wrath 2 begins right where their original game ended, with you trapped in a tavern looking to escape and get revenge on Loki, who betrayed you. There's a really good recap as well, and just like whenever you're being told a story in the game, it's like watching a 3D movie on steroids. What you're actually seeing right now is one of them, and while it might not look like much on a flat screen, in VR everything is hundreds of feet tall and you could actually feel the scale of it. The rest of the game takes you through an extremely immersive story-driven campaign on a journey with 4 separate protagonists, each with their own special weapon, abilities, storylines, and open world maps, making up over 130 hours of gameplay. For reference, that's more than 5 times the length for the campaign of Half-Life Alyx. The gameplay combines fighting, exploration, problem solving, and a bit of crafting. Weapons can be stored on each side of your hip, while another 2 could go on your back. Each character has their own special weapon. For example, the first character, Abraxas, has an axe that could defy gravity, stopping and then changing direction mid-air. When in a fight, you could choose to just hack and slash your enemies. That's personally what I do, but if you want to fight more strategically, they also give you signals. For example, randomly weak spots on them will appear, and you'll also see them emit lightning, which tells you to either parry or dash away. The enemy AI is very well done, and they fight back in a way that feels extremely realistic. When you finally do kill an enemy, sometimes they give you the benefit of just standing there lifelessly for a few seconds, and if they do that, you could chop them up, making for an extra satisfying yet gruesome kill. The game has its very own unique mechanic and interaction system that you'll learn and adapt to pretty early on. If you played the original game, you might recognize some of them, like how instead of climbing a ladder or walking upstairs, you could just grab the knot and be teleported to the other end. Besides the ladders, stairs, and ropes, anything climbable will show yellow. You get the same type of yellowing on a wall to know when you could run across it. The only negative aspect of that is you're often limited to climbing or jumping on or off only what the developers allow, making it so you can never hop off a ledge or climb up a rock without their permission. While playing, I wanted to stay on track as much as possible to complete as much of the main story as possible, but I've also just seen an overwhelming amount of content. While on a quest, you could come across a door that looks like nothing, but then before you know it, you're on a side quest. To help you stay on track, there is a waypoint in the form of a big beam of light. I'm still in the process of deciding if it's more annoying than necessary, but luckily it could be turned on and off rather easily. The in-game puzzles and problem solving take on many forms, the most extensive of which require effort from your mortal self, yourself in God mode, as well as the use of a special power of your animal companion. For example, your first companion, a panther, could generate and degenerate certain rocks. As a bonus, you could also have her in her non-humanoid form to ride, which could be extremely fun, especially when it's time to smash through walls, jump over gaps, or fight enemies. There's also a falcon, a baboon, a hippo, a boar, and while I haven't gotten to them yet, I believe they could be ridden as well. Since getting access, I've been playing so much my eyes feel like they're gonna start bleeding, and even so, I haven't come close to scratching the surface of what this game has to offer. From what I have played though, I can tell you this is an incredible VR game, and I cannot wait for you guys to try it out. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, this is Andy's VR Reviews.